It was a Tuesday afternoon when Glenn and his wife Lucy were chilling at home. Lucy had just arrived back, and Glenn had supposedly seen something moving in the kitchen, so she decided to go and investigate with him. It's important to note that what happened next was terrifying enough to force the couple into a new home, and the landlord had a lot of trouble selling it afterwards.
Yeah, I think that's recording, babe. What was it you saw?
I don't know, I saw something in the kitchen move. I don't know what it was, but it just seemed strange.
Yeah, but it's probably just the window's open. I thought I saw something the other night, and there's just that crossbreed from the window and the balcony.
Keep the camera open, because I swear I saw.
Oh my god! Oh my god, man!
Oh, here, give me the camera. Oh my god, what the? Oh god.
Please, we just get out.
Fucking hell! Shit, let's go. Let's get out of here.
Out of nowhere, the oven swung open, and it was shortly followed by the launching of an ornament on the shelf. Now, before this, both Glenn and Lucy were rather calm in each other's company, but straight after the oven opened on its own accord, all sense of safety left the kitchen. Like any normal people, they sprinted away and let their family know what happened. They were able to stay in Glenn's dad's house for the following 2 weeks until they were allowed to move into a new property. In the following video, what was meant to be a harmless prank between two young brothers turned into a horrific event that left both of them unable to sleep for nights. Now, the prank was a simple one involving Chris G, the older brother, scaring Chris F, the younger one, and capturing his reaction on camera. He set the phone up on a shelf and went to get into position, but it was at this moment that the unexplainable happened.
Yo, what's up, homeboys? Chris G. Alright, so here's the deal. Chris F is in the bathroom, which is somewhere over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide right over here and put the camera so when he comes in the room, I'm going to scare him. You guys get to see how he looks. Alright? Alright, then homeboys, I'm going to hide right now. Chris!
On their shared work desk, they had 2 artificial roses, which were purely for decoration. However, little did any of the brothers know that they could move. Once Chris G was behind cover, ready to scare his bro, the roses fell, and this left them completely baffled. The flowers were in a perfectly stable position, meaning that something or someone must have nudged them to cause them to fall. It's unknown what actually did this, but the brothers claimed they went practically sleepless for the 2 nights following, before they were assured of their safety. Just last month, an old man by the name of Simon was living alone when he decided to try and document the struggles he had been going through over the past few weeks. According to his words, he had seen a mysterious figure in his house before and was seeking to catch it on camera so people didn't find him crazy. The following video is the documentation, and it gets very spooky.
Right, doing a little bit of an investigation. Been doing it for a while, but I'm on my own tonight, and the house on my own, it's so creepy, it's terrible. See, we've seen a figure in the living room behind the door. Oh, for what the with this crap? I'm sick of this thing. What the was that? I'm sick and tired of this house. It's horrible. Cat's up there. What are you doing up there? Oh, for fuck's sake, I've had enough of this crap.
Strangely, a head-like shape peeked from the corner of the stairs before quickly dashing back into the shadows out of sight. It's likely that the spirit did this to avoid leaving too much evidence that it was there, making it slightly unbelievable for the old man's family, so he still couldn't let them know about it. Unfortunately, he had enough of it and decided to show his children the footage he caught, and surprisingly, they were very supportive. They took him out of the place and finally put him in a care home, which is what he always wanted, and he never saw anything paranormal again. On June the 4th of 2023, a mother and her youngest son were lying in bed waiting for the father of the house to come home. He promised that he would bring them both a McDonald's once he got back, and that was something they didn't want to miss. However, something else in the house was much hungrier than they were. The clock hit 10 p.m. when one of the freakiest and most disturbing things of their lives decided to hit them. Have a watch.
Who is it? Who's me?
Your son.
Aren't you at your friend's sleepover? Who are you? What do you want? There's food in the microwave.
Eat it for me.
Go to bed.
No.
Go to bed.
No.
Now this mimic was clearly desperate to enter the bedroom and likely wanted to haunt it as its next target. Luckily though, the son was with the mother, so she knew for sure that it wasn't him trying to reach her. As well as this, she claimed that he would never act like that, further emphasizing how aware she was of the situation she was in. Eventually, to their fortune, the mimic left, but that doesn't mean it left forever. For the following 2 hours, both of them were fine and they were full at McDonald's since the father was home. However, when she was reading a bedtime story to the child, it came back.
Claudio? 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 Claudio?
Weirdly, the door opened by itself, and with no surprise, nothing stood on the other side. This made things very peculiar, because the ghost seemed so angry that it wasn't being allowed inside, yet it eventually just let itself in. Perhaps the whole sequence was solely just to scare the family, which is extremely evil considering that one of them was a young child. In the following video, a Russian man, who we don't actually know the name of, had growing concerns regarding his grandmother's house, so he decided to investigate by deploying cameras all around the building. This sense of concern first came around when his grandma started waking up in the middle of the night to weird noises, and she usually got very scared as it could possibly have been caused by an intruder. Regardless, she got her brave grandson to come and save the day, and the footage he captured was beyond terrifying. Here's the first one. Strangely, the cabinet started shaking rapidly, which, as described by the grandma, made a very similar sound to a noise that woke her up very recently. If this statement was true, then this wasn't a one-time occurrence, and the family had every reason to be worried for her safety. The shocking thing is that there was another clip caught on the same night. After hearing the cabinets shaking, the Russian man decided to go downstairs and investigate what was going on, just in case there was a squatter living there. It was at this moment that everything was revealed, and they truly confirmed that a ghost was present.
Злые люди.
Они вас убили? Что там происходит?
In a very odd fashion, the table slid to the side, and it was clear and obvious that no one or nothing visible had done this. The family had no choice but to pinpoint this to the worst possible outcome. The house was haunted. They put the house on the market as quick as a flash, and the local priest came to attempt a blessing, but we don't know how successful that was. All we know is that the elderly lady is safe living with her grandson, and everyone is happy. These two men were doing their regular jobs of cleaning the cinema when they started to hear some really strange noises coming from the production room. In retaliation to this, they quickly went down the stairs so they could get a better look up at where the noises were coming from, and what they saw was definitely enough to freak them out.
Otra vez. ¿Qué fue?
If we look closely, a head could be seen glancing at the duo before immediately ducking back into cover after being caught. It's important to know that this room had finished for the day, and no one was supposed to be working up there, and they'll never know who it truly was. The only evidence is that a member of the crew passed away a few nights before this incident, and they usually operated the screen in this room. Both the cleaners speculate that this is who they saw that night, but this was only the first incident. There was another. Approximately 1 week after this shift, both workers involved hadn't seen any other strange sightings in the building, so assumed that it was a one-time thing. However, when the oldest one of them was doing some work alone in the same room as the last, the noises returned, except this time behind the curtains. Now, like any regular person would do, the man decided to go and investigate behind the curtains and see if any real person had broken into the room. but to his dismay, no one was there. As if this wasn't enough, there were a few times where shadow figures could be seen above where he was, but they are hard to distinguish from the man's own, so it isn't enough to be sure. Regardless, the man left his role as a cleaner in this cinema a few days after this second sighting and went to work as a janitor in a school instead. Did he make the right choice? Let me know in the comments. At the peak of virus 19, most states were put into quarantine to prevent the virus from spreading. New York City was one of these states. The following video took place during this lockdown and was captured using the CCTV at a local daycare center. As a result of the lockdown, the center was closed and no one was allowed to enter or leave it. However, some forms of life can bypass such rules. Strangely, a stationary box fell from the table without being prompted, as well as the rocking toy moving by itself. This is very odd, considering nobody else was allowed inside the building except the workers, who were all off due to the virus. Whatever it was that was in the room was never captured again though, and seems to have been a one-time experience. On September the 2nd of 2023, young man Stan was home alone during the day. At least he thought he was. His girlfriend Marissa was out collecting the groceries while he laid back to watch television, but it was shortly after she left the door that the creepiest thing of his life would occur.
Come here. Come here. Come here. Okay. Come here. Come here. I told you. Come here.
Out of nowhere, Stan started to hear a voice coming from the other end of his house, so he decided to pick up the camera to go and investigate. As he got closer to the source of the noise, it became clear as to what it was. As weird as it may have been, it was a perfect mimic of Stan's voice. What makes this scenario extra perplexing is that mimics, ghosts that imitate people, often attempt to sound like loved ones, to lure you into doing sinful things. However, this one used the vocals of its victim for whatever reason. After this incident, Sam explained that he would never trust any voice again without seeing the source, and you can't really blame him. However, this wouldn't be his first encounter with a spirit. One day after the mimic incident, Stan was in the middle of cooking for the household when he started to hear some aggressive noises coming from the room next door. Instinctively, he went to check what the noise was coming from, but to his dismay, he wished he never let his curiosity get the better of him.
Okay, I don't know what you're doing. You can literally hear that. You can literally hear that. No. What the fuck? Oh my god. What the fuck? No.
Now, what makes this incident extremely weird is that it must have been a different spirit from the one Stan encountered prior. This is because, as I explained earlier, the last ghost was an imitation mimic, but this one was making noise, which is a behavior that mimics don't follow. After finding out this information, Stan quickly contacted the church to get his house riddance of the two ghosts, so they sent a priest to do the job. No updates were given following this, so it's safe to assume that it worked. In Guadalajara, Mexico, the following video was captured by a doctor and a nurse awaiting their next patient. It was starting to get late at night, so the hospital wasn't at its busiest. However, this didn't mean they'd have too long to mess about. The duo were messing about and laughing with each other on their break until something disturbing happened that killed the mood completely. It was 2 a.m. when this was filmed on camera.
Es que te estoy enfocando a las boobies. Ah, no mames.
¿Qué?
Pasó algo.
¿Qué pasó? No mames.
A ver, ven. No mames, pasó algo, te lo juro que pasó algo,
Se mueve, ya se mueve.
Vete a la verga.
Yo no voy.
No mames.
Mid-conversation, a dark figure glided past the doors in the doctor's line of sight, and he decided to go and see who it was. To his surprise, though, no one was on the other side of the doors, and he started to question whether he was seeing things. Unluckily, he wasn't. A piece of equipment to help patients walk started to move by itself, and it was at this moment that the doctor put 2 and 2 together. Just a week before the event, a patient had died in this room, and that piece of equipment was exactly what they used to move around. Both the doctor and the nurse believed that the patient came to pay them an extra visit, and he was lovely, so they weren't worried at all. For the following 10 years, people in that room continuously saw the extraordinary happen, but no harm or fear was instilled in anyone. Dolls are statistically the most likely items to be possessed in the world, and this fact gets proven many times. The clip you're about to see is a part of this statistic, and while no harm was caused, it definitely spooked Kobo out, the man behind the camera. He had purchased the doll for his daughter a few years before this video, and she had finally grown out of it. They were prepared to donate the doll, along with some other toys, to a children's charity, but unexpectedly, this option wasn't on the table after this footage.
I swear this box just fucking moved on its own. Should we do that again? Oh shit.
What makes this footage ever more eerie is that the doll had never moved before, making the moment extremely shocking for Kobo. Perhaps the doll was upset that it was being relocated from his daughter, or maybe it had been moving all along. It just hadn't been caught. We'll never know the true answer, but feel free to theorize in the comments. All we do know is the doll was burned in a campfire and never seen again. You can't say the same about the spirit inside it, though. 2 days after the doll moved, Kobo was sitting in the living room when something terrifying happened.
So I'm at my desk, and I just heard the water in the bathroom turn on by itself. This is the first time something's happened outside my room. So, let's take it. If you're in here, can you move the curtain again? Do you want me to leave?
In most situations where taps turn themselves on people, excuse it as being an issue with the piping. However, in this instance, the actual handle had moved, meaning that something alive must have caused this to happen. On top of that, the curtain started to move on its own accord, and despite scanning the surrounding area, nothing could have made this happen. Now, if you thought that 2 sightings of this was enough for Kobo, he was still adamant that he wasn't going to leave the house, so the spirit had to play one last trick to tilt him over the line. As I explained earlier, Kobo burned the doll that was haunted because he didn't want it anywhere near the house in case it caused harm. Unfortunately though, it somehow returned.
It's like midnight, and me and my cat just heard a bunch of crazy shit coming from the closet, and now he's just sitting up here, and he doesn't want to come down. I swear, we heard a bunch of movement. Hey, if you can hear me. Oh my god, my cat's freaking out again. If you can hear me, move. Oh my gosh, before I said it, started moving. I swear it just moved and it's fucking staring at me. Yep.
Despite being burned to charcoal, the doll appeared in the room of Kobo and went as far as moving by itself. After seeing this, Kobo took no hesitation and immediately started filing the paperwork to sell the house and was out within 3 days. It's unknown as to whether or not the ghost followed him, as there were no updates since. All we can do is hope that Kobo is okay. The following video features a father called Joshua who was visiting his house to feed the cats. Over the past few months, he and his family had been experiencing many paranormal things in that household and were in the process of moving out, and this would be one of the last times Josh would enter alone. Once he arrived, he immediately fed the cats and had no troubles whatsoever, but this wouldn't last. Take a look at what happened next.
So me and my wife have been living in this apartment for about 6 months now. We've been living in this apartment complex for about 4 years, probably more than that. For the past 2 weeks, some weird things have been happening in our son's room. Stuff have been like moved around, and we keep hearing noises and it sounds like stuff's being like closed and shut. I've never got anything like actually on camera. My wife is actually staying with my baby at my mom's because they're kind of like freaked out right now. We're about to move out anyway, but they're just staying there for the time being because it's weird and we don't really have any explanations for it. Not that I think it's ghosts, but I don't have any other explanations for it. So I wasn't going to record, but I came here to feed the cats. We have 2 cats who have to stay here, unfortunately, because my mom is allergic to cats. So I came over to feed them, and I noticed that in his room, my son's room back here, there's one of my cats, I can hear his toy being played. And you can't really hear it right now. But we keep the door closed because, one, we always kept the door closed because we don't want the cats to go in there and get hair all over because they're really floofy cats. But I can hear the toy playing, and it was not on before. It is playing right now, and I don't know why it's playing right now. I didn't leave it on, but even if I did leave it on, like, I'll turn it off. Even if I did turn it on, it wouldn't automatically play. You'd have to, even if I brush over the keys, it doesn't really go. So you'd have to really press the button and make it go. And it was not on, and it turned on, and I could hear it, and that's why I started recording. And now that I'm looking around, there's stuff knocked over, there's plants knocked over, there's fake plants knocked over, there's books on the ground, the wipes are on the floor, I don't know what is going on. And there is no one here. I am here by myself. There is nobody here. I'm here by myself. I'm in the father's closet right here. I'm just trying to debunk everything. There's nothing here. Did you see that? Am I insane? Am I insane? Someone just walked by the window, and I will go out there and show you that no one is here. This door is locked. This is the door you're just looking at. This door is locked. There's nothing out here. Nothing out here. There's a closet door. This is also locked. I don't think we've ever opened that door. It's always been locked. Just the weirdest things are happening. Weirdest things are happening.
Despite nobody else being in the house with Josh, his son's toy turned on by its own accord. The spookiest thing about this is that Josh demonstrated how difficult it was to activate, and it couldn't have done so without something pressing it. The worst part is that this wasn't even the freakiest thing. In the corner of his eye, Josh saw a human figure glide past the outdoor window, and after investigating, found no trace of activity. Either someone very fast was playing with him, or the ghost made an appearance. No matter what, he'll never know. All he does know is that he's very fortunate to be moving out. On November the 12th of 2024, Olivia was laying in her bed late at night when one of the most terrifying occurrences of her life occurred. It was roughly 1 a.m. at the time this video was filmed, and the worst part is that the doll was idle, meaning it wasn't supposed to talk, move, or do anything without human control. In an eerie chorus, the doll started singing the tune to the famous kids' rhyme "Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star." As well as this, it started to blink repetitively, and as previously mentioned, the doll was not supposed to do this. In an act of panic, Olivia quickly disposed of the doll and went back to sleep, but this time, another one of her toys came to life. Unlike the last doll, this doll was meant to blink, but the fact it was singing was extremely terrifying for Olivia, so much so that she threw it out of the window in a heartbeat. In the morning, her father trashed all of her dolls in hope that this would never happen again, and we haven't been updated since. Do you think she's safe? Let me know down below. On December 13th of 2022, a man called Paul was doing his job as a day guard at his local factory when one of the weirdest events possible occurred. It was around 8 p.m. when the following video was taken, and it took place just after Paul had finished working. Except little did anyone know that it wasn't Paul after all. Throughout the day, he had been acting stranger than usual and not being his normal self, but it was after he beckoned his friend Tim to come into the back with him that everything became apparent.
This is Paul, and you are about to witness a possession. He's allowed me to post this video, but only if I conceal his identity. Paul is the day guard, and at the end of his shift, I didn't know it at the time, but in an act of kindness earlier in the day he tried to remove and discard the statue head. The following takes place before the Night 12 incident.
Strangely, Paul started to mutter in an undetectable language, and no one could decipher what it was that he was trying to say. Many predict that it was ancient Latin, but after specialists shut those rumors down, people were left clueless. Regardless of the language though, what happened next was terrifying.
Need a 86 for a friendly. Can't breathe. Paul. 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 Paul, I can't breathe.
With a blade, Paul stood up and swung at Tim before getting all aggressive and in his face. The weird thing was that Paul was known for being a kind man who never really got into arguments, so this was extremely out of character. However, before Tim even had a chance to hit back, Paul returned to his normal self, oblivious of what his body had just been used for. But this wasn't the only paranormal event that was hosted within this factory. It was only the beginning. 2 days after the Paul incident, Tim had finally recovered, and his boss told him it was time he stopped being a coward and came back to work. In order to maintain his job, Tim listened, but this would turn out to be one of the worst decisions of his life. Upon arriving at work, everything was fine for Tim. He did his regular checkups and monitored security until eventually Paul left for home and he was able to feel safe again. As he started to get comfortable though, so did the spirit, and what it did this time was just as spooky as the last.
Please protect me, God. I guess we're doing this.
Hello?
Shit. What the fuck?
Whoa! Hello? Who's there?
When patrolling the storage corridors, one of the doors was knocking, and it happened to be the one to the room that Paul usually found himself in. Curious, Tim went to inspect the scene, and based on his comment asking God to protect him, we know he knew what he was getting into. After entering the room, one of the mannequins toppled over on its own accord, which was the first red flag for Tim to turn back, but he ignored it. After this, a slab of glass shattered before a pot banged the floor behind him, and he knew that the ghost was present. However, Tim was convinced that this was a different entity, but if we zoom in on the very last frame, the outline of a woman can be made out, and I assume that this was what had possessed Paul as well. Little did Tim know, though, that this semi-sighting of the ghost was nothing compared to what he was about to capture. On that same night, he decided to do some more exploring, as he was understandably skeptical that it was actually a ghost haunting him. He adventures for around an hour with no sightings, until eventually something happened that made him wish he never got too ambitious.
Hello?
If you look closely, hands can be seen dangling over what looks like a container, and the figure of a woman can be seen attached to them. Unfortunately though, when Tim turned his flashlight on to capture the ghost, it immediately disappeared and never appeared again. Literally. For the last 2 years, Tim hasn't come across a ghost, which leads him to believe it wasn't a permanent haunting. But the unlucky thing is that he'll never truly know. This little girl was role-playing with her dolls when something extraordinarily creepy happened right next to her. To her dismay, she didn't manage to witness what occurred, but luckily, the CCTV camera in the top corner of the room captured it perfectly. Unexpectedly, the girl's least favorite doll, Lola, started moving by itself in the corner, leading the parents to believe it had been possessed or moved by a ghost. But what actually made them check the security cameras in the first place? Well, a few nights after the doll incident, the little girl was drawing for her parents, and the unexplained happened. Except this time she saw it and told them. This incident is what caused them to scan through all CCTV footage of their child to make sure nothing similar was happening. So have a look. Weirdly, all kinds of objects started moving in the room, and no one except the girl was in the room. Things get much creepier when you discover the doll from before was behind the sofa at the time of the incident, making it very possible that it had something to do with this. Immediately after being alerted, the parents put the doll in the trash and paid the collectors to take it far away from their home early. When the doll was removed, all paranormal activity in the house stopped. The following video took place late at night in a home owned by a man named Robert. Robert lived by himself and often had family coming and visiting him, but during the clip you're about to see, he was the only person home. It happened when Robert was struggling to go to sleep, so decided to go downstairs and play some of the guitar before bed. But something else must have had the same idea, because what happens next is shocking.
So I couldn't sleep because I felt like something was watching me. You ever felt like that? I'm all alone. I come out here to play my guitar because I can't sleep. So I look over here at this thing because I feel like it's freaking watching me. And I could have swore I seen it move. Oh, see, that's what I'm talking. That's that bullshit right there. Oh, hell no. I'm done with it. That thing's going in the dump right now. Well, I got something for that. Yeah, I got something for that right now.
To kick the video off, Robert explains his situation and claims that he was sensing that he was being watched. This gave him an eerie feeling when he was in his living room and he pinned it down to the teddy bear sitting in a box, and somehow he said it moved. Now at first, this was completely unbelievable. But luckily, just as Robert told his story, the bear moved again just to confirm it. Scared but smart, Robert did what he should have done and put the bear in the trash, but no one believed what he saw, so he actually ended up being checked for mental illnesses. To his fortune, he wasn't diagnosed with anything and showed the video he captured to his family, but they are still skeptical to this day. James Talbot was an overnight security officer at a mall and usually worked on the stairwell to make sure that no unwelcome guests came up when time got late. The upcoming clip took place at roughly 1 a.m., where nothing normally happens. At this time, James tends to record himself and post to his YouTube channel, and he's lucky that he had this habit, because if he didn't, he wouldn't have filmed what was about to happen.
Man, I've been clocked in 8 minutes. Hey! Hey! I'm not finna go check shit. I'm not going down there. Shit. Oh, goddamn, the door locked. Oh. Damn. If it is somebody down there, they're gonna stay their goddamn ass down there. I'm not going. Shit. Hurry up and get up these bitches.
Suddenly, footsteps could be heard from the bottom of the stairwell, and doing his job, James called out to the person guilty. But to his dismay, no one responded. Now, instead of going downstairs to investigate the noise further, James started to feel strangely uncomfortable and ran away from the noise, scared of it, which wasn't usual for him. James sprinted down the corridor and into another room where he decided to hide. But suddenly, he heard the noise of a whisper from inside the room, and this is when things got real.
Hey, somebody fucking in here with me. I'm up here doing this damn job. These folks want me to do all this walking in the dark. I'm not walking down there in no motherfucking dark. Hey. Hey. Not coming the fuck out there, man. Somebody is down there with me. Somebody in here with me. When I got this job, I told them I don't do things like this. And I got my camera on, bitch. You can go if you just come out. I'll let you go free. But don't try to just pop out on me, you know what I'm saying, scare the fuck out of me, make me shit all on myself on the job. Come on now. Come on now, I'm just trying to get my goddamn hours and go home now. He gonna act like he don't hear me. You know you back there, come on. I'm not finna, I'm telling y'all, I'm finna go. And the clock's up going this way. Fuck that.
Like before, James started begging the supposed break-in culprit to reveal themselves, and even offered to let them go for free. However, no one spoke back. He stood there for a second and thought of what to do next before following his instinct instead of the job. He packed his bags, locked up, and left for the night. Now, after doing this, James expected there to have been a robbery overnight and had his excuses ready, but surprisingly, nothing happened. Had he really been going crazy, or did something much deeper occur? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. It was approximately 2 a.m. on a Tuesday night, and a man named Zark was all alone in his house. His family had already moved out prior to this night because the escalating paranormal activity had started to affect them badly. Zark and his family claimed to have experienced several paranormal events prior to this footage. However, none of them come close to what you're about to see.
The fuck? Where's the cupboard open? The lights are off. You see, I normally keep that light on because that's how I get to know the haunting has begun or not. And that's why I've actually covered the lights so that it doesn't glare on my eyes while I'm sleeping. The cupboard is open right now. I'm alone in the room.
Now, this night started at a fairly low level on the haunted side of things. All Zark saw was the cupboard open, despite being closed when he fell asleep. But compared to other things he had seen, this wasn't too drastic. However, it was just shortly after that, the ghost started to do something Zark had never seen before.
It's at the door. Stop it! Stop it, please!
Weirdly, the door started knocking, and the only explanation for this is that it was a spirit on the other side. Zark asks the spirit to stop the knocking, and after some time it stops. But what happens a few minutes later sends chills down Zark's spine.
Daddy?
Go fuck yourself, Jerry. Go fuck yourself. Shit. I'm not gonna stay here. Fuck.
It's important to note that Zark was completely alone when he heard his kid's voice saying "Daddy," so that had to be a mimic. After this, Zark left his apartment immediately and spent the rest of the night in his car. On January the 17th of 2008, Kaiden, a young adult at the time, had recently started renting a new house for him, his girlfriend, and their 3 pets. The house had no unusual backstory or anything that would really deter a family from moving in. However, reputations can easily come to an end. It was night 4 in the house at around 6 p.m. when the most peculiar evening of Kaiden's life would occur, and things got terrifying, very terrifying.
Phoebe. Hey. Phoebe. Where are you, girl? Phoebe. Phoebe. Hey, what's the matter, girl? Come here. What's the matter? Are you okay? Come here. Come on up. Phoebe, come on. Hey. What's the matter? Hey, come here. Come on. It's okay. What's the matter, girl? Come here. Come on. Come on. Come on up. Want a treat? Come on. Come here, peeps. Want a treat? Phoebe, what's the matter, girl? What's the matter? You okay? What do you hear? What is it? What is it, girl? Come here. Phoebe, come here.
You okay, girl? What's the matter? What's the matter, honey? Do you hear something? Phoebe? Honey? Are you okay? What the hell was that? What is that?
After hearing banging noises from up in the attic, Kaiden decided that he had to go and check what was up there in case of an intrusion. Since the pets were acting strange, it was likely that they could smell or hear someone that he couldn't, and so Kaiden wisely took the signs.
What? What the hell? There's definitely something up here. What? The hell? Jesus Christ.
Strangely, once Kaiden entered the attic, it was completely trashed, and he was devastated as a mess that big would not be easy to clean up. However, at the time, he was pleased that he found nothing up there, but still suspicious. It was when items started moving in front of his very own eyes that things started to become extraordinarily freaky. It's important to note that the light switch for the attic is inside it, so when they turned off, it was impossible for Kaiden to have done so. Something was up there, but he'll never know what. In the following video, a single man called Toby was getting ready to go to sleep when he supposedly noticed something looking at him through the window. Accompanying this sighting was the sound of a lady crying, which disturbed Toby for obvious reasons, and it definitely showed with his reaction.
Okay, look, I'm really tripping out now. Something was looking at me through the window, and I heard that lady crying again, coming out of the kitchen. I'm freaking the fuck out. I am fucking tripping. Really creeping me out. I ain't going by the basement door, fuck that. Fuck that. There's something in this house with me. There's something in here. I'm telling you. Oh, fuck no, fuck no, fuck no, fuck no.
Now, in usual paranormal situations, the ghost would do something harmless but spooky, like move a chair to the side. However, in this crazy scenario, a knife was thrown at Toby, which could have caused some serious damage had it connected. Ghost experts theorized that the spirit wasn't trying to harm Toby, but just scare him. This explains why it delayed until he stepped back from the kitchen to launch such a dangerous item. Regardless, this is one of the most dangerous ghost sightings witnessed, and I doubt anyone would want to switch situations with this man, especially considering that this was only the beginning. After a long night struggling to sleep after the knife situation, Toby considered attempting communication with the ghost and eventually came to the conclusion that he would. He took out his TikTok camera and went downstairs to the living room, and then the moment of truth happened.
Monday, I think it's like the 5th or something. And about 6:30 in the morning. A little handle over there off my grinder come across the floor. It's my little pipe, my little billy club I keep around. It come rolling across the floor this morning. Been pretty quiet lately. I thought I heard voices earlier, but I wasn't sure. It's been pretty quiet for real till now, until a few minutes ago. And we'll see, I guess. Are you here this morning? What do you want? Can you talk to me? Let me know you're here. Okay, so you are here. What do you want? I'm not scared of you. show yourself. Show yourself to me. I want to see who you are. No, I want to see who you are. Leave me alone. If you can't show me who you are, I want you to leave my house. Show me your face. Show me your face or leave my house. I demand it. No, go. Show me who you are or leave my house. I'm not afraid of you. What do you need? What do you want? Why do you keep bothering me? Are you still here? Hello? I'm not here to harm you, and I do not want you to harm me. Just tell me what you want. Who are you? Do you want me to leave this house? Is this your house? Do you want me to leave? Do you want me out of your house? No, because this is my house. I want you out of my house. If you can't show yourself, I want you to leave.
At first, the ghost cooperated with Toby and continuously moved a metal pole across the room to let him know it was listening. However, after some time, it clearly got bored and stopped entertaining his curiosity. The only sign of the spirit still being present in the later section of the video was when a small shadow appeared in the corner of the room. It's highly possible that something else cast this, but in the event that it was the ghost showing itself, Toby was in for a long day. Towards the end of the video, he claimed that he would upload more content of the sort and try to keep his followers updated on the experience. To our dismay though, he never updated anyone again, and no one knows why. Now, the next paranormal occurrence showcased on this video is actually the follow-up to a video that we've already covered on the channel. In that video, I explained how he searched 20 minutes for the cause of the knocking at his door, and this is the footage of him doing so.
Oh my god.
Weirdly, he found nothing lying around in the forest, despite the knocking being really loud and in a linear pattern. No animal is capable of doing this, so it's very odd that no person was discovered. As well as this, once the man arrived back at the house, his bedroom light was on all of a sudden, and a shadowed figure was standing behind the blinds. Quickly, he ran inside to confirm that there was an intruder, but to his dismay, nothing. This is when Sam really started to become convinced that a ghost was on his property. However, he was an evidence kind of guy, and without any, he couldn't be too sure. With time came his wish, though. A few days after the prior incident, Sam was watching television with his cat when the power completely cut out. He lived in a relatively rural area, and this kind of stuff was normal, so nothing was out of the ordinary though, until he realized the rest of his area still had their lights on. With this knowledge, he needed to investigate the power box, and things got creepy fast.
I just lost power in my house. I looked down the road and I saw lights on, so I think it's just me. I'm gonna go down to the breaker box and see what's up. Hey, you stay here, I'm gonna go get the power back on, okay? Everything looks okay. I guess I'm gonna have to call the power company. These were closed. These were 100% closed. I never leave these open. If there's someone or something here, I want you to prove it to me. I want you to close one of these doors. Come on! Oh, if I'm being honest, I'm glad nothing happened. Holy shit!
Once Sam decided to go upstairs and phone up the power company, loud banging noises started happening downstairs, and he assumed it was the cat. He quickly ran down the stairs to the source of the noises to find both the washing machine and the dishwasher flung open. This had no explanation. It was a ghost, and he knew it. Immediately, he beckoned the spirit to do it again and got excited too soon when it didn't at first. However, milliseconds after his victory call, the machine's door closed on its own accord. The following family had only been living in their house for 8 months and had never experienced anything supernatural in their life. They were all religious and had God on their side, which left them strong in the sense of not getting haunted. Despite this power though, on a random Tuesday, things got quite weird.
Dude, you hear that, right? Yeah. Alright guys, I have to start recording. We just moved in here last summer, And we keep hearing these things. Oh. Shit. Dude, you hear that, right? Yeah. Don't tell me it's just me. That's ridiculous, man. I don't know.
During a match of Street Fighter against his girlfriend Kayla, he started to hear aggressive banging noises coming from the kitchen and got fed up, so went to check. Once he arrived into the kitchen, he scanned the room and found nothing before checking the garden, but this is when the paranormal activity was confirmed. Suddenly, another bang rang around the house, and with a fast reaction, the cameraman turned back into the kitchen to find 2 cabinets open. It's clearly caught on camera as he walks towards the garden that the cabinets were closed beforehand, which leaves little explanation as to why this happened. Feel free to try and solve it in the comments. Unless you put a ghost though, you're incorrect, because this wasn't the only clip that the man captured in the house. Just a few hours after halting the previous recording, the strange noises returned, and after some investigating, an apparition was caught.
Alright, I have to start recording again. I know I just heard something. You guys are seeing this, right? Gotta be joking me. What? You gotta be joking me. Oh, jeez.
Living in the house with the cameraman were 4 other people, so it was possible that the person behind the door was one of the children. However, it's extremely unlikely that the kid was fast enough to get away from the door as quickly as the apparition did, leaving no other explanations barring the supernatural. On October 16th of 2023, a father of 1 daughter heard crying from her room, so he decided to go and check on her. After searching the room, he found that there was nothing to be scared of and told his daughter it was probably a fly before going to bed. When he woke up the next morning though, he decided to check the cameras just to be safe in case something truly did happen. And beyond his craziest beliefs, something did. The lights in the girl's closet started flashing rapidly to the point that they managed to wake her up. We can see her climb from the bed to go and investigate the room, but the footage cuts before anything happens. The father claims that nothing happened from that point onwards, at least during that specific night. Over the next few weeks, he would closely monitor the cameras of the girls' rooms and relocate them every time something suspicious was caught. The following clip shows one of those instances. If listened to closely, a small knock could be heard, and after contacting experts, the family discovered that it came from underneath the girl's bed. It was at this moment that the family considered this spirit a threat, and eventually they would leave for good. It's unknown whether or not this move was successful. The following video took place in a Dutch apartment which hosted a university student. The student was renting the apartment so she had somewhere to stay that was local to her studies. However, she had no idea what would come from calling this place home. On her second night, she was relaxing in the living room, watching television, when one of the creepiest events of her life happened.
What the fuck is that? Oh my god. Is that an aunt?
Strangely, despite scanning the room for someone, she failed to find a culprit and ran out in fear. But this wasn't the scariest part. As she stared at the doorway, anticipating some more supernatural stuff to happen, a dark figure peeked round the door, and she ran without any hesitation. Now it's impossible to understand what the motive of this spirit was, but if it was to scare the girl, it definitely succeeded. She left the property 2 weeks later and went to live in a university dorm room instead. It was 2 p.m. in the afternoon in the Adams household, and the entire family was out, as the parents were granted a day off work. They were planning to visit the park together for a few hours to gain some bonding time, but little did they know they didn't bring everyone with them, despite the whole family being in the car. Confused? I'll let the security footage do the explaining. Weirdly, the metal chair fell to the floor and started dragging itself along by itself. This was very odd, since no one was present in the building, and no natural force could possibly make something like this happen, especially since the windows were definitely closed. After receiving a notification that something was in their house, the father quickly checked his phone and was left stumped. They never witnessed anything close to this ever again. After sneaking onto an inactive plane at night, young adult Tyler expected to get into a lot of trouble in the case that he got caught. He was prepared to pay fines and be on his way, but he had no idea of the true magnitude of danger he was putting himself in, and it wasn't because of the plane. You see, it was inactive for a reason, but not a reason you'd ever expect.
Let's go. We did this shit. No, I know I'm not dumb enough to lift those shades up because I got my flash on in here. They gonna catch my ass if they see. I ain't gonna lie to y'all though, it's mad cold in here. And it's dark. I mean, I know it doesn't look that dark on the camera, but it's dark. Let's go! Let's go! Right, sitting on the back of the plane. And y'all probably think I'm fucking insane. Probably think I'm doing this shit for fame.
As Tyler got more and more confident that he managed to board the plane without being detected, one of the seatbelts jumped to the side while he wasn't even close to it. Like any regular human, he quickly turned the corner to see if anyone else had boarded the air vehicle, but to his dismay, he found nobody. It's still unknown what caused the seatbelt to move, but even the most unbelieving people are convinced that this was the act of a ghost. I'm keen to hear what you guys think in the comments. On an unidentifiable evening, a security guard at his local store was working his night shift. Now, usually this was his favorite shift, because no one bothered him, and most of the time it didn't involve any action. However, all of this was about to change for the worst when he witnessed the craziest thing on the cameras. Take a look.
Just putting things away from the box. All right, now watch. I want you guys to focus on this area right here, okay? Hold on, let me speed this up a bit. All right, watch.
If you have the doctrine right and you stow it on a shelf in your closet and do not pull that doctrine out.
Boom, you see that? I'll get back here for you guys to give you a better view. Look at that. And I'm just like tripping, like what just happened? At first I didn't know what the hell it was, but went to see that there's a box on the ground. I'm like, okay, it's weird. Now I'm going to look, to see what's going on. It fell, okay, but pay attention to this area right here. Watch.
As he is showing the camera and what it captured, a banging noise could be heard behind him, and he started to become convinced that someone was in the building, despite the cameras not detecting a human yet. Curiously, he decided to wander around the store, and this time he experienced something outside of the screen.
Is that you? Look, I'm here by myself. Nobody's here. It's just me. See that? Come out. I'm not afraid of you. Is that you? That threw down the box earlier? Come on out. You don't scare me. Come on out, pussy. Always trying to mess with me. Ooh! Oh, shit. No. Hell no. Hell. Let me see. Hold on. Where am I? I'm here. Where am I going? Look, there I am right there. Look, you see that? You see that? Nah. 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 Hell no.
At first, this clip is very hard to understand, but once you zoom in, you can see that the guard's hair was tucked. This was very odd. considering that the hair clearly didn't latch onto anything, meaning that a spirit must have decided to do this. Regardless of the cause, the security guard was completely rattled and vowed to never do a shift by himself again. Attics are notorious for being some of the most haunted rooms in houses, and there are countless clips backing up this claim. The upcoming video is one of these clips, and it gets very creepy very fast. It was taken on September 17th of 2018 and features a father of two called Michael. He heard some suspicious noises coming from the attic and decided to investigate. This is what he discovered. Immediately after entering the attic, the noises started to intensify and items began moving on their own accord. Now that Michael had seen this firsthand, he was convinced it was a haunting rather than a squatter and barricaded the attic shut. Despite closing it though, the noises continued and he was forced to move out just a month later. The house is still listed as haunted to this day. On an October night nearing Halloween, this American family was planning what decorations and costumes they would use for a party they were going to host. They all came up with some great ideas, with some being themed around the supernatural. Little did they know that all of this was about to become real.
I heard the bell.
Did you move the bell at all of it?
Huh?
Did you move the bell?
No. I heard the bells ring.
At around 9 p.m., they heard the bells outside their door ringing and assumed that someone was at their door like usual. The mother ran a small business and a lot of deliveries came to the house because of it, so this was a regular occurrence for the family. However, after reviewing the doorbell footage, it was far from normal. No one was there. The only possible explanation to this would be the wind, but that day had no wind throughout the evening. It's difficult to excuse this event as something from the normal world. The only safe option would be to blame a spirit. In the following video, a teenage boy named Braden was awake late at night whilst his parents were still fast asleep. He was scrolling through TikTok when he started to hear some pretty loud noises, but the way he reacted to these noises was beyond shocking. You could call it brave, or you could call it foolish, but that's for you to decide. Have a watch.
Wow, it's really bad right now. Okay, hold on. Jesus. Okay, hold up. Why is the tree on that? Whatever that is coming from up here. Should I attempt to go in there? Fuck. Because that was coming, all that thumping, it was coming from like right in there, in that room.
Come up here for a sec, man.
What the fuck?
What the fuck was that?
up here now.
Okay. Okay. That I'm not fucking with. That I'm not fucking with. That I'm not fucking with, bro. That I'm not fucking with, bro. That I don't play around with. That I don't play around with.
As strange as it may have been, Braden heard his own voice aggressively telling him to come upstairs, to which he instinctively entered flight mode and ran for his life. The thing that made this very weird for Braden is that his parents didn't actually wake up to the loud beckon, leading him to believe that he and the camera were the only things experiencing the noise. It's common for mimics to imitate loved ones to tempt people into sinning, but this situation was very unique. The mimic mocked its own prey with seemingly no intentions, so it's safe to assume that it was a very dangerous spirit. Braden's parents still don't believe that anything happened that night, despite him being adamant, and he currently takes therapy sessions. They think he's crazy. In the following video, a YouTuber known as Mellowbird was home alone when one of his weirdest online documentations occurred. Mellow was known for capturing tons of weird things on camera. However, none of the spirits he had encountered were nearly as aggressive as the one you're about to see. The video was uploaded 11 years ago, and Mellow claims to still have nightmares about this event to the present day.
Right, don't say that's all. Are we tired? Can't do any more. Ooh. Yeah, but can you pick me up and throw me across the room? Ooh. Hang on, in the corner. That's very impressive. Show me something else. Oh, am I zoomed in? I think it stopped. Stopped. It hasn't stopped.
However, in this situation, the latter happened and Mellow could have very easily gotten hurt by the items that were launched, but luckily he didn't. Now, most people would move house in this situation, but since Mellow's entire career was documenting paranormal activity, it kind of helped that a spirit was living with him, so he decided to stay, and it was just one day later that it decided to toy with him some more.
Right, crazy noises coming from the cutlery drawer. Oh. Right, okay, well, that was a glass. Thank you, I think. At least it didn't break. Thank you for that too, but can you do something on camera, please? Throw something small and cheap. Come on, do something, please. Thank you. Something over here. Oh, it was this lid. Let's flip the lid over. Yes, I know what it's like to flip your lid. You make me flip my lid. I hope I got that on camera. Come on, do something else. Was this open? No, I don't know, but... Open these doors I'm closing.
This time, the ghost was a little less active and didn't cause nearly as big of a mess as the night before. Despite this positive though, the way it flipped the pan's lid was still very creepy and flexed the powers it had, and that it wasn't scared to use them, and won't make things too obvious. Luckily though, Mello dealt with this ghost perfectly, and instead of feeding it his fear, he stayed calm. This was the last sighting he got of this peculiar ghost, and his bravery was likely the reason why. Now, in the last clip, we saw a very brave person who clearly had a lot of experience with ghosts. However, in the next clip, you wouldn't be able to say the same. On November 30th of 2007, an old man who was living by himself encountered a really frightening event that left him startled and reactionless. After it, it was safe to say that he wasn't living alone and definitely had company by his side. Take a look. The doorknob started rattling up and down, which is an unexplainable phenomenon. Paired with this, it began to swing open and closed with no one on the side, meaning that someone or something invisible was controlling it, and this wouldn't be its only appearance. For an unknown period of time, the old man didn't encounter anything paranormal, and his family thought he was starting to go insane, and didn't believe the story about the door. However, they were all at his home for what happened next. Strangely, the cereal bowl flew across the table, and the old man rushed out of the house faster than his legs could carry him. He actually pulled a muscle on his way out of the door and fell over shortly after the clip ended, but he was okay in the end. Immediately, his family ran to the sound of the bang, and again thought that the man was seeing things, and since he was bad at technology, he wasn't able to show them any proof. He was taken to a care home a month after the events, and this was when his daughter found the videos on his mobile. The upcoming video is one of the most disturbing ones on the channel, and this is because of the fact that it contains a little girl. She had just arrived home from school at the time of the incident and was carrying her lunchbox and some cat food as she was about to feed it. However, something else decided to step in her path. Now, if you listen closely, just before the ghost pulls the lunchbox away from the girl, you can hear it saying yes in response to her refusing to hand over the items. Strangely though, she was completely unfazed by the spirit's attempt at spooking her and casually walked back into the living room afterwards. It's known that the family never witnessed anything else of the paranormal after this event and were very religious, which is likely why. As I've stated in several of my past paranormal collections, dolls are considered to be some of the most likely items to be possessed by ghosts. This is because they are the closest things to a human body that aren't actually human, and most of the spirits want to regain their physical form. The following video was CCTV footage from very early in the morning sometime last year. The camera used was very modern and moved to track any movement in the room before going back to its default position. This mechanism helped it detect something very disturbing happening in the basement. As weird as this may have been, the doll started to move while no one else was in the room, and something like this can't be anything other than a ghost. Out of fear, the man of the house, David, locked the basement and told his 2 children that a big monster was hiding in there to deter them from going inside. The door is still locked to this day, and they are desperately trying to move out. The Biltmore Hotel in Providence is a place that has never had any paranormal sightings or any activity that could go in that direction. That was until the video you're about to see was released onto the internet. Small YouTuber Jack Stevens uploaded the content to try and work out whether anyone else had experienced something strange in the residence. It turns out that a lot of people have, but none sounded as strange as the one Jack captured.
Okay, making a video. I'm here at the Providence Biltmore Hotel. I'm in room 1102. I'm making this video because it's like 2 in the morning right now. I've just been sitting here watching TV, and the door to my bathroom in this room has slammed 2 or 3 times in the last half an hour. So I don't know why it's doing that, but no one's going to believe me if I don't get it on video, so I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try to catch this happening on video. The last time it happened was like about 6 or 7 minutes ago, and it's happening every 6 or 7 minutes, so I'm hoping to catch it again right now. Okay, let's check it out. Alright, you can see that the bathroom is down there at the end of the hallway. The bathroom door is the one that has been slamming itself by apparently unseen forces. I'm going to stand here for a couple minutes. If it happens again, then I'm going to catch it on video. If it doesn't happen again, then I'm going to set my camera down and try to just let it sit there and wait and catch it when it happens.
The door continuously slammed itself shut by its own accord, and after dealing with it for a while, Jack was lucky to have caught it in the act. However, this could easily have been fake, and someone could have been hiding behind the door, so he set out to prove them wrong and searched the bathroom entirely.
See that? It just did it again. I cannot believe I got that on video. I cannot believe I got that. There is nobody in this room except for me. That is the freakiest thing ever. There's nobody back here. Alright, this video is going up on YouTube. Hopefully we can get some comments to figure out if anyone else has had any experience like this at the Biltmore in Providence.
Nothing was in sight. Alfredo Davella is a policeman who works for a search and destroy team in Brazil. It's 3 in the morning and Alfredo is filming his colleagues as they search a school for a supposed bomb threat. But as they are searching, something disturbing begins to occur. A door is seen opening and closing, and there's something off about this school. Moments later, the team goes to investigate the door, and once they get close, this strange phenomenon stops. What's crazy is that the bomb the team were trying to discover ended up being behind the red door, so perhaps this was an angel coming to save the school. Ghost hunting is considered to be one of the most dangerous jobs in the world for several reasons, one being that annoying spirits never lead to anything good. In the following video, a ghost hunter called Vladimir was searching a home in Russia, and it's safe to say he found what he was looking for.
Allah tövbe ya Rabbi. Tövbe ya Rabbi. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. Kamerayı aldım, dolap kapağı açıldı. Tövbe ya Rabbi. Tövbe ya Rabbi. Resulullah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Tövbe ya Rabbi ya Resulullah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillah. 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 Allahu Ekber. Allahu Ekber. Baksanıza şunlara ya.
Strangely, the refrigerator started to open and close itself without any other humans present in the building. The ghost hunter decided to approach this phenomenon, but when he got near, the fridge came to a halt. Doing his job, he went to open it and reveal what was causing the opening and closing, but as he was about to do it, a cupboard behind slammed, as if it didn't want him to check. Regardless, the man opened the refrigerator, and all he found was a Coke bottle, which the house owners claimed wasn't there before the hunt. With this information, the man had confirmed there was a spirit in the house, but he didn't have enough evidence, so had to keep searching. For a while, not much happened, which led him to believe the refrigerator was a one-off occurrence. But what happened next was crazy.
Ekber, Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber, La ilahe illallah. La ilahe illallah. Allah, La ilahe illallah. Sandalye hareket ediyor abi. Tövbe estağfurullah, tövbe estağfurullah. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. La ilahe illallah. La ilahe illallah. Ah. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. Ah. Arkadaşlar. Şu benim aklıma takıldı. Evdeki petekler de. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La ilahe illallah.
As the ghost hunter investigated a chair, it launched itself backwards without anyone or anything pushing it. Immediately, the man started looking around for any logical excuse for the chair moving but couldn't find any. And to put the nail in the coffin, a door opened by itself at the end of the clip. With this concrete evidence of paranormal activity, it was time for the hunter to leave. The following video was captured by a YouTuber who wanted to record some footage for his channel. He was exploring a house in China where the Grim Reaper had supposedly been called, and what he filmed was definitely worth the visit. He is haunted from the second he enters the building to the second he leaves, so take a look.
저쪽에서? 아닌가? 아, 씨. 우와, 날도 춥고. 잠깐만 좀 들어가겠습니다. 뭔 소리야? 잠깐만. 바람?
Strangely, when he opens the door to the residence, one of the doors inside closes on its own, setting the tone for a mysterious adventure.
계십니까? 뭐야? 웬 연기가
힘 같은 게 당신 누구야? 사람이야 귀신이야? 어? 왜 그러지? 문에 자꾸 이렇게 열렸어. 아까 처음 하고. 뭐야? 커튼. 바람 때문에 끝나 저거는. 뭐야 여기 공간이? 문 뒤에 이런 공간이 있어. 뭐가 이런 데가 있었지? 왜 저기 도대체 문을 누가 어떻게 잠그고 가요 그래?
When he's in the house, a low-to-the-ground creature can be seen wandering around. He points at it as it moves as if he is not there. This was unexplainable, but far less scary than the next appearance in the building. Eventually, the man decides to try and communicate with the ghost and sits in between a doorway.
댐벨 한번 들여가지고 대화 시도를 한번 해봐야 될 것 같다. 그렇지 않고서는 오늘 여기서 살아서 못 나간다. 잠시만요. 자, 죄송한데 저 국산 거를 준비 못했고 한 대 개안하게 뽀시고 우리 대화로 가시게요. 자, 혹시 제 얘기 듣고 계세요? 듣고 계시면 뭐 대답 좀 해주세요. 댐벨은 얼마든지 있습니다. 남성분이세요? 여기 사는 망자가 아니시죠? 어? 봤어? 내가 여기 사는 망자가 아니시죠? 하니까 내 집이 아니니까 나가야 된다? 어떤 느낌으로 뭐가 검은색 무채가 슥 나가는 아닌가? 뭐지? 막혔는 다시 들어오셨는 게라오. 어디 계신 게라오? 그대로 있는 것 같은데 뭐지? 장난 엄청 심하네. 왜 이렇게 장난이 심하지? 혹시 장남이세요?
He asks the ghost to make an appearance, and we can see it gliding past the outside window. It's unknown what this creature actually was, but if we zoom in, we can see that it has the figure of the Grim Reaper. The YouTuber was not alone. Throughout the rest of his visit, he witnessed self-moving objects, heard messages, and saw other things, and left the building with the content he wanted. He entered this home, thinking that the Grim Reaper had visited it. Little did he know it was still there. Now, the following video was taken back in 2023, and it seems like not many people have seen this footage. But despite not having many impressions, the video is still very creepy. It was captured while the man of the house was out at work and the wife was doing the dishes. Luckily, they had a Furbo security camera set up in the living room, which is where the incident happened. Have a look. Weirdly, a voice can be heard speaking before the door opens on its own accord. It's unknown what the voice said, but after putting it in slow motion, it either said Hiya or Tia. Hiya would make sense as it would be greeting the people in the house, but Tia is the name of the wife who was doing the dishes. Regardless, something from the supernatural world came to greet her. The dogs instantly stood up and started barking at the door, and even jumped off the sofa as if a human was moving in the room. However, no one could be seen. Collecting things is something that makes humans happy. It makes them feel like they have a purpose, and looking back at their artifacts makes them proud. However, the upcoming video comes from someone who has a collection nobody could dream of. He gathers haunted items from across the country and brings them back to his home. Before this video was uploaded to TikTok, the man had purchased an art piece depicting Wigan, but the artist took their own life after drawing it. People theorize that the art is haunted, and the footage coming up proves that.
Can hear banging coming from downstairs. It woke me up this morning, but there shouldn't be anybody down here. Hello? Oh my god. Hello? Hello? What the fuck? Oh, Will, you okay? Hello? Oh my god, what's going on?
Somehow, the man could hear banging coming from downstairs, so he decided to go and check it out. It was then that a wine glass flew at him from the direction of the haunted art piece. As well as this, a mug on the table slid to the left, confirming that the flying glass was not an anomaly. It was in fact a spirit. The man went to check the room, and nothing was there which could have possibly caused these crazy events to occur. After this event, you'd expect the collector to put his items in the trash, but he doesn't, and pays the price with a much scarier event.
I fell asleep on the couch and the bathroom door is repeatedly banging. Stop! What was that? What the fuck? What the fuck? Alexa, stop! Stop! I do know what is going on in here today, but there's some kind of an atmosphere as well. What the hell is that? Did you see that?
This video was filmed just 2 days after the previous one, and was also 2 times as creepy. To start things off, the door was banging and a chair moved, but if that wasn't enough, the Alexa started playing music of her own accord. Finally, a young boy in a white shirt is caught sitting on the sofa, but in the background, and when the man turns to look at it, it's gone. I'll let you try and explain that in the comments.